girl, shake it for me now. Shake it for me now. Are we live?
I think
Are we
so.
live? Hey, boys! NFL with a country accent, week 13. How you doing? Howdy, boys. Howdy, Queeve.
Howdy, Mikey.
Okay.
That was a tribute to
It's
what
actually, it's actually me all along. All right. Hello. Check 1, 2. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, we look the highlight of Thanksgiving
Start
for
small
us.
tribute to the highlight.
The highlight of
The highlight
Thanksgiving
the
for
game.
us was Country Girl Shake It For Me. And actually, the highlight of Country Girl Shake It For Me was when the Cowgirls got
Absolutely.
up and shake their thing.
Yeah. The halftime show for the Dallas Carolina game was better than the game itself.
Yeah, well, we won't even mention
Cringe factor
the
10.
halftime show
Oh God!
for the
Big
Lions.
Sean.
The Sean, whatever his name was.
Big Sean, and he was about
Big Sean,
5'2".
eyes of blue.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
Good comedic value though.
And actually, yeah, after that I couldn't even stay up for the last game, which was a bit of a shock then, of course, with the.
It was a very bad result for the Packers. Yeah.
Anyway, we got through the party. There wasn't, to be honest, there was only myself, Queeve, Polly, and Dino there.
Shh, there was loads of us there.
There was a few other people.
Loads
there,
of ladies.
Ladies.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the chili was good.
Welcome to. All right, actually, this is NFL with a Cork accent, and we've just redone the logo there again. We got the official logo through the PDF, so I just changed it again. I think it looks pretty good myself.
Thanks to Josh.
So, week 13, lads, yeah, and it's the last week of the Pine Lodge Fantasy League. We'll be going through that in depth later on. One or two interesting matchups. Definitely one interesting matchup, anyway. And okay, well, it's a bit of kind of quite enough news week, according to Queeve.
Slow news week, yeah.
So I'll just do the news. I'll just get the news drop there, right? Ready?
Yeah, as we were saying, it's a slow news week. Just 2 bits. The offensive coordinator, Bill Laser,
see you later,
has been ousted after their pathetic showing in the Meadowlands against the Jets at the weekend. I think they got 21 points in garbage time once the game was kind of over. So he was on borrowed time anyway, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I think that they're obviously a clean house. So I think, are they looking for the second?
I think
are they looking for the second bounce back ability thing?
I think the tight end coach who got bumped up, Campbell. He's been found out as well. I mean, they had that honeymoon period where they beat the Titans, but sure, I mean, that's
no one remember that they beat the
Texans.
Texans, yeah.
Before the Texans
the
went on their run.
The Texans haven't lost since then, I'd say, have they?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think so. But that said, back then they were pretty poor. They turned themselves around after their bye week, I think.
Yeah, well, they are one of the most improved defenses, alright, I suppose. They're they haven't conceded more than 15 points a game, I think, is there, or something like something crazy average like that anyway.
Yeah, the defense has stepped up.
Yeah, but they're still pretty.
Offensively, TJ Yates did a good stint.
Yeah,
but Hoyer was out.
Yeah, but Hoyer was in.
And Hoyer came back and was pretty good. Yeah. So I mean, that's not that's a news item, not a huge news item. And the other item of news we have again, it's the Manziel soap opera continues. He's not getting the start this week after Josh McCowan broke his collarbone at the weekend. Austin Davies came on, and Austin Davies has been given the start for this coming weekend. So Manziel is still in purgatory for his antics.
Yeah, well, we're not going through this. This is the week 3 of the saga, and it's like everything else.
He's not a good enough player to be talking about all the time, so we'll just forget about it there.
Yeah, just draw a line underneath that.
Okay, we're going to go over the 4 what we consider to be the best games last weekend. There are 4, then we'll start with the Patriots went to the Broncos on a snowy evening last Sunday night and lost their first game of the season, but weren't too bad in defeat. I thought it was a bit of a lucky victory myself. A couple of contentious penalties called against the Patriots at critical times in the game.
Well, the Gronk is after getting the hump big time. I know he's got injured as well, but he's been on his social media saying was he called for 5 OPI
Well, there was
defensive pass interference.
there was just one in particular when Brady threw a huge, it might have been a 60-yard play till it fell, and Grant got called all the way back for
Back at the
a
line
holding
at
call.
the line of scrimmage or something.
Yeah, back
is
at
it?
the line of scrimmage. Yeah, and there wasn't much in it, to be honest. Maybe that's
Yep.
just my bias, but there wasn't a whole lot in it.
Well, I suppose if you live by the sword, you have to die by the sword.
Yeah, I mean, I take the loss. It's only
Well,
first loss of season, 10-1.
What
You know,
did I say there last week? You know, sometimes these teams actually prefer to lose a game, so it takes a lot of the pressure off. This whole, you know, I think is only the Miami Dolphins of 1972, isn't it? And the obviously the Patriots of 2007, is it? Or
yeah,
2007,
2007. Yeah. But I
and-
mean, there's
and-
no shame in going to Denver and losing against the best defense in the league. And Osweiler's just kind of not doing a whole lot, but he's not doing anything wrong, not doing much wrong.
Oh well, he's
Got to give the young fella credit. But
well, he's
at the
he's
same
look,
time, he's
I've spoke him up when he came on that he suits the way Kubiak wants his defense to run, and run is it, like, you know, people just didn't weren't they were like always expecting Peyton to pass. No, there's a bit more balance in the game. Obviously, it just seems to coincide with C.J. Anderson and Ronnie Hillman coming into a bit of form as well. So, are they coming into form because
they're running
because
it so
of,
much.
or is it just a matter of fact? You know,
Bit of both, I'd say.
these are the intangibles that you know, it's hard. You have to make a judgment call. I did say, I didn't actually. I probably should have tweeted out that Osweiler will be doing Papa John's pizzas now very shortly.
And banging Peyton's wife.
Worst
I think we
pizza-
made the same jokes last
Did
week.
we?
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
But yeah,
Well-
it was a good. It was.
Well, he'll definitely be getting. Okay, we won't. All right.
All right, moving on. It was a good game, and as I said, there's no shame in losing at Mile High. They're only a game behind the Patriots in the race for the 1 seed. So
Yeah,
on
well,
to the Eagles.
you'd think that they're still probably going to get the number 1 seed in the AFC anyway. The division, if the Jets lost last week, the division was wrapped up already.
And the divisions.
So the
over
division
anyway.
is sold up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a matter of you know, just keeping the machine turned over, and I know they hope to get most of those players back for the playoffs. Amendola
Could be back this week. He's only week to
Dante
week.
Hightower is out as well, isn't he? And
Jamie Collins.
So they're a pair of formidable linebackers.
Yeah.
And
Edelman should be back for the playoffs.
Edelman.
Hopefully.
What's his name? The Dion
Lewis. No, he's
Dion Lewis,
gone.
he's definitely gone.
He's
Yeah.
gone, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So
enough Patriots talk.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, move on to the next game. The Seahawks and the Steelers was most definitely the game of the weekend. It was to and fro. Lots of balls through the air. Lots of big receptions. Wilson throwing 5 touchdown passes, first time ever in his career. He just came out of his shell totally. Doug Baldwin had a huge game. Curse had a huge game.
Well, we've seen this. We've seen this for the last few years. Like, the boys are they can make the big plays. It's just doing it week in, week out that they don't seem to be doing it. Obviously, Jimmy Graham caught a nice few balls as well. He didn't manage to get in the end zone, but like, he did actually get injured then in the end zone. Funny enough. So is
Out for the season now, I think.
torn patella. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit of news, I would say there.
Yeah.
Out for the rest of the season. Thomas Rawls had another good game, but like,
They didn't run it a lot though.
Yeah. What was I going to say? A couple of strange calls again from Mike Tomlin. The fake punt, where Landry came in and he ended up throwing it to some guy I never heard of, picked off, returned for a pick 6.
That was the game right there, like.
And he made a couple of strange calls then, or like, actually both. I don't know. I think the Seahawks must have went for about 3, if not 4, 2 points after, and they didn't seem to get very many. Then Tomlin was dumping around with taking a field goal, saying that they'd hold it the next time. Like, they're leaking points left, right, and centre.
Well, he said at the start of the season that they were going to go for the 2-point conversion every time.
But they were
this
actually
particular time they were 2 points ahead.
No,
and
but
it
they were
made
actually
no sense to go for it.
But they were actually fight. But this is when they were 5 points down, and they took the field goal on 4th down instead of going for the touchdown, which would have got him back into it. And he was saying, "Oh, I'll trust my defense to hold them." But like, my point is, they hadn't held them all in the whole game.
Yeah.
So why were things going to change there?
Yeah, sorry, we were talking about different things there.
Yeah, well, obviously, he went for that the other time. Then when they were 2 points up, and he went for the 2-pointers, which would have only put them 4 points up instead of just taking the point after to put them 3 points up. I know there's different ways of looking at it, and I was just listening to Sirius FM today on Bleacher Report, and guys were going very much in depth to it. I know it can be. They go through the statistics of it, as how often it works out and all that. Like, it can put you to sleep after a while listening to it too much. But at the end of the day, the Seahawks came out of it
coming into form at the right time.
Obviously, they've got a very important game this week, which we'll get onto later on.
Yeah.
And that was Russell Wilson's first time winning in a shootout. Normally, if they won, the opponents hadn't scored 25 points or more. So his arms seem to be like he can hit a deep ball when he wants to. There's no doubt about that.
It's just the way that they're going. They're going to.
Yeah, maybe he's just got a curb getting out of the pocket so often as well. That seems to be sometimes the default action rather than actually going through his progressions and seeing if the likes of Carson Baldwin or Graham when he was there can get free, rather than reverting to the pass or to the run all the time.
Yeah, but they have a good balance now between the pass game and the run game, and they're going to be pretty formidable in the last 5 weeks.
They are still a run first team. That's their meat and drink. But obviously they need to have they have to have a more balanced game. Every team needs a more balanced format to get through. Like,
I think the Steelers played well in defeat, and again, they're these are two.
There's no shame. There's no shame
these
coming
are two
out.
top 10 NFL teams. They're
There's
both
no
going to be in
shame.
the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously it was a lot more important game for the Seahawks than the Steelers. The Steelers have still got their own bit of work to do, but I suppose it's one of these AFC NFC games as well.
So they're both going to be wildcard teams. So they're going to do well to catch.
Yeah, we'll see if they meet each other later on. Like, yeah.
Okay, third game we have here is the Monday Night Football that everyone was predicting. How can this game be on Monday night? It was the pre-game was it's going to be an awful game. Two terrible teams. Cleveland and the Baltimore Ravens served up quite an entertaining match in the end. Baltimore running out 17-0 lead to a 17-0 lead, and then Cleveland coming back to lead 2017. And anyone who saw the game see the last Cleveland had a kick from 51 yards to win the game, and it was blocked down and run back for a kick six, they're calling it.
Yeah,
run back for a touchdown.
But like the thing is that, number one, there was a lot of mismanagement getting him into that position. What's his name? Davis slid in, and they were fucking around with timeouts and stuff. They could have got him into a better position, and they mismanaged it. I saw on this ESPN. I was doing a lot of media work this week. On ESPN SportsCenter Science, they were saying that he needed to get an angle of about 40 degrees on the kick, and he got 21 degrees, and the longest he'd kicked prior to this was a 48-yarder. So that, like, the chances of him actually getting the kick were negligible, especially then. they were saying, it was never it was never straight, it was never high enough, it was always going to end in misery.
Well, you couldn't have predicted it was going to be run back for
Oh
a
no,
walk-off
no,
touchdown-winning
no,
game.
no, no.
But yeah, it was bad. It was bad
Yeah,
clock management and bad team management 'cause they ran the last play for a loss of a couple of yards, which could have made all the difference to the
yeah,
kicker.
yeah. As I said, like 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, if they could get him 3 yards inside, that would have been a difference of 6 yards, which would have been it would have been if he was 44, 43, 44, whatever, 45, would have been probably comfortably inside in his range. As it was, he's you're playing golf, you're trying to hit things harder. It doesn't actually work out. You're better off, keeping it nice and sweet. My old days when I used to do a bit of kicking coaching, up in the rugby club there.
shameless self-promoter.
I'm just telling you, I was
Available for work.
available for work.
Kicking coaches. But yeah, all in all, it was, as I said earlier,
Props make the best kicking coaches.
John Gruden trying to promote it last Monday Night Football was cringe, but it actually turned out to be pretty good game. And
Look, the Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, it's the same as Sky Sports. They're just hyping the shit out of it.
yeah,
And sometimes the product is obviously not very good. And a lot of the times then they just don't call a spade a spade. They're skirting around a few issues rather than, telling us the way it is, rather than just trying to sexy up the game. Like
that's what they're paid to do.
the game.
I suppose,
The game should sell themselves.
Yeah.
And look, there's no harm in having a stinker. Just if it's a stinker, call it the way it is, rather than trying to gloss over the effort.
All right, moving on to our last featured game from last week was the visit of the Bills to Kansas City. Again, it was the Bills ran out to a very early lead, and KC, who are one of the farm teams in the NFL, came back and eventually running out 30 points to 22 winners in another impressive comeback. Well, not another comeback, but an impressive performance all around. Sammy Watkins had a fantastic first half. Tyrod was throwing a lot of long passes his way, which bore fruit. But they didn't. I think he might have been targeted once in the second half, unless the cornerbacks were tightening up on our double coveraging or whatever.
You wonder what's the story with Rex Ryan here. Like, he just seems to get the teams riled up for the big games. Actually, if he was playing the Patriots every week, he'd be happy, I'd say.
Yeah.
And losing.
But he'd go on 16 then.
As long as his defense
Smashed up Tom Brady.
held up at the end of the bargain, but still managed to lose, he'd be happy. So obviously the big thing there is that they haven't turned KC haven't turned the ball over since week 3 or week 4, I think.
Week 3, yeah. Which is a phenomenal
That's
statistic.
phenomenal. So obviously, if you can win the turnover battle, that's half the game.
Smith just isn't taking risks, and it's working for him. And
saying that, like, he's hitting Macklin. Like, the whole stat last year is that no wide receiver had a touchdown. Macklin seems to be
Macklin's second half of the season, he's turned it around because he was pretty anonymous the first.
Well, I suppose obviously, like, it's like any other game. You have to kind of settle into your surroundings and build up a rapport with the guy who's chucking you the ball, or just get his roots right and all this, learning a new playbook.
And their depth at running back has been phenomenal. Like, Charles goes down, West comes in, plays unbelievable. West goes down, Ware comes in, has a very good game at the weekend. Scored 2 touchdowns last week. I think he had 1, maybe 2 as well this week.
Well, is it one of these things that, like, kind of when Jamal Charles is there, everybody just seems to say, "Oh, leave the Jamal Charles." When he's gone, they actually have got to pull their finger out and do the business themselves. So that's good. It's good to see. But like, they're still a boring enough team, like, But I think they've got a very favourable schedule, and they got to be a shoe-in for the wild card. Obviously, this is no saying that Denver, the wheels don't come off the bus there. I don't know how many games are they behind.
1.
They're only 1 game behind.
Oh, how many games with KC behind?
Behind.
3, I think.
Yeah.
6-5 to 9-2.
9-3, I'd say even.
Yeah. No. We only
9-2.
played 12 games.
Oh, it's 12 games last week.
With 1 bye week.
Okay.
But yeah, I think these 2 teams will be the 2 wildcard teams in the AFC. I think the Bills are decent. They just they've had a tough schedule of late, and they've put up good performances in Foxborough and down here. Good first half anyway. They just find it hard to stop, but they'll run over poorer teams if they. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but if they play these kind of 5 and 6 teams,
Yeah, well,
at
I think
home, they'll do well.
Deshaun McCoy
McCoy has been
had a
very
good
good.
game, and they're after discovering who's it? They have another wide receiver as well, and that hasn't been played too bad. And obviously Tyrod Taylor is obviously some weeks he's not doing the business, but in general he seems to be pretty solid, and it gives him a good option for he'll sneak in for a couple of first downs himself anyway as well, which is always a nice thing to have.
All right, moving on. Before we get into this weekend's games and picks and all that, just a quick update on the Oakland bet. Oakland had a sneaky win away to the Titans this weekend, which gives Decky a chance, a fighting chance. 5-6 is their record now. He needs 3 wins. I need 3 losses in the last 5 games, and Mariota really showed his amateurness down the last play in this one. He threw 2 picks where there wasn't a Titan in sight twice in this game, and down the last drive as well for a tying field goal or trying to get a touchdown. And I think Oakland just came up against potentially the worst team in the NFL, maybe definitely a bottom 3 team.
Well, Oakland were on a 3-game losing streak at that stage, weren't they?
Yeah.
So
and they host KC this weekend. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, okay.
But that's going to be a tough. I'm hoping that KC will get the job done there. But had Oakland lost this, I reckon I would be celebrating the win in the bet. But as it happens, it keeps Decky's side of the bet alive. So we shall update again next week. Okay. This week's games, again, no more buys, so we got 16 games. Starting Thursday Night Football. The Packers lost 4 of their last 5 games.
Stall a second now, right? Can you give us the results of the picks from last week?
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't know, you got... and I got... so it's 54 all. I was 4.
I thought I was 4 behind last week.
Yeah, I was 4 ahead. Man next to me here picked
Country
11.
girl, shake it for me, yeah. Shake it for me, yeah. Squirrels, carrots, everything up and down. Rednecks jumping all around town. Country girl, shake it for me. Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's not your X Factor audition. He got 11 out of 16 in against the spread picks, which is
Decent. That's decent.
Extremely impressive. I had a mere 7, so I had a 4-point lead going in, so it's now 54 all. Again, which is around. We're about.
The thing is, we're not
doing 2.
Are we gonna have a wager on this or something? No, because we've actually been doing it all along for fun. Like, are we gonna have a?
Well, we're not gonna just decide on the fly here. We can discuss that afterwards.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So all right, Packers go into the Lions. Lions have won how many? 3 in a row. I think it's 3 in a row.
Lions have won 3 in a row. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was 4 in a row, but yeah, it's 3 in a row.
And the Packers have lost 4 out of 5. And
Yeah.
the one they won was at the Vikings, which and they've lost at home to the Bears and the Lions. So this is the reverse fixture. The spread is the Lions are getting 3 points at home, and this is a tough one, because the Packers have been playing so badly offensively.
Well, I suppose the thing is as well, you have to realise, okay, is that last year the Lions were 11-5, so that they comfortably got into the playoffs last year, and any team with the same record this year would comfortably get into any playoff. So like a lot of times the Lions had such a bad start, we just kind of automatically reset our brain to the Lions are crap.
I know if there's bad starts and there's 0-7 starts.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like they're actually Stafford is playing out of his skin, so if we have to kind of put that back in context now. They're after kind of rebooting, obviously, Mr. Cooter, Jim Bob. is he's after working some magic, because they're just a different team that we saw in London. Saying that,
Saying that, I'm taking Green Bay
you're
minus
taking
3.
Green Bay.
I'm absolutely taking Green Bay here. I think that they are playing a lot better, and they did go to Green Bay and win. But I just no, I don't like.
You're still sticking with the Packers.
I don't like Stafford. I don't like him, and
well, I will actually take the Lions here. Okay, I'll take the 3 points.
all right.
Obviously, Rodgers, he got a stinger, didn't he? He got hit into the elbow. Himself and Devontae Adams are not on the same page at all. Cobb is dropping a lot of balls. James Jones is
Like you can
fix
wide receivers dropping balls. They're getting in the right position. The drop balls cost them the game last week as well, and I think that can be fixed. So I'm sticking with the best quarterback in the league. He can turn it around, and you're going to take the Lions plus the points there.
If they lose this game,
they're
obviously the Vikings are playing the
Seahawks.
The Seahawks, but the Vikings actually have a
Vikings
game.
have a very tough finish.
But the Vikings have a game on them as well, don't they? At the moment, the Vikings are 8-3, I think.
Oh yeah. Their game up in them, yeah.
It's going to be an interesting game Thursday night. We're probably going to stay up for that game, I would say. Are you coming down Thursday night? You got your cleaner coming or anything, no? Normally he stays down with me when his cleaner is coming.
No, I won't be here Thursday night.
All right. Okay.
Moving on. The Cardinals go to the Rams. The spread here, again, spreads provided by bet365.com. Don't be afraid to give us a few free bets. Bet365. Thank you. Rams plus 5.5 at home to the Cardinals. I don't know why, but I've taken the Rams at home with the points.
Cardinals.
Because in the division, the Rams are 3-0. Shockingly, considering they're 4-7 overall. And when it comes to the home games against divisional opponents, it's like a Rex team playing against the Patriots. They step it up. Not saying they're going to win, but they'll put it up to the Cardinals, who were a bit lackluster at the 49ers.
Well, I think the 49ers dragged them down to their own level last week.
The Rams will do the exact same thing.
Yeah, but the Rams, just Fisher just is a joke. Like, I'm just beginning to intensely dislike that guy. He's no charisma. He's a media darling, but I don't know why, because he seems to be just very boorish.
He's a media darling because he talks a lot of shit, and the media eat that shit up, man.
Yeah,
they love it. They love people, that's why they love Mourinho in the football. Anyone who's going to say something controversial, that's something that they can write about.
Well, he was saying, he was asked about why the team is playing so badly, and he basically just blaming everybody bar himself. Like, can he not stand up and say, like, we're actually playing shit? They're being badly coached. If it wasn't for Todd Gurley having a breakout season, half a season, a quarter of a season, he's at the falling off.
Done a whole lot now.
He's only did he have 19 yards last week or something, or 30, didn't he have 30 yards? So yeah, I'm comfortably with the Cardinals.
Okay. The Falcons go to the Bucks. Bucks -2 at home. Falcons lost 5 on the spin. Absolutely terrible team offensively, not so good defensively either. The Bucks lost at Indy at the weekend, but they're going to finish around 7-9, 8-8.
Yeah, well, they're another team that are blowing hot and cold. Like, how many teams can we say this about in the NFL? They're blowing hot and cold from week to week. You're going for the Bucks, yeah?
Yeah, I go for the Bucks every week.
I concur.
Okay. We got the Ravens after the kick 6 victory Monday night, travel to the hapless Tunas, Miami Dolphins. Miami are 4.5 point favourites at home. I'm taking the Ravens.
Miami.
Radio. The Bengals go.
I thought your caveat was two bad teams playing each other. Always take the home team. What was?
I was.
You're there like you're like a little guru with all your little sayings, you know.
Well, you let me defend myself. You keep interrupting me. I was impressed with the Ravens on Monday night, even without Flacco and Forsett. Javorius Allen.
How did your
Do
man
you mind
play?
if I speak though before you interrupt me again? I thought Javorius Allen and Matt Schaub, he threw a couple of picks, but he was okay. And I think that the Dolphins are so bad that they can cover. The Ravens can cover +4.5 on the road.
Okay.
Off you go.
How did that wide receiver? Well, the only wide receiver that they have. How did he play? Was that the guy that you mentioned there?
Kamar Aiken. I didn't
Kamar
mention
Aiken,
him, no,
no.
but he did have a good game. Yes.
Yeah, I saw Dean had him on his team, and he picked up 15 points.
15 points. Yeah.
I know AJ Green also picked up 18 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for later.
That's for fantasy later. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's nice to just have a little bit of a preface as well, you know.
All right, you're taking Miami there.
Yeah.
How can you take Miami against anybody?
Devontae Parker's gonna have Stormer.
That's 'cause you just drafted him. The Bengals, after losing 2 in a row, got back on track at home to the Rams at the weekend. Easy win, 31-7. Go to the Browns. There's no spread on this. I'd imagine it would, because we don't know who's going to QB the Browns. Even though we do know.
Just do know.
We do know, 'cause it just came in like an hour ago on my phone. So the bookies haven't updated the site yet. So I reckon the spread here could be 9 or 10. But we're both taking the Bengals here, I would imagine, since we have the spread.
Yeah, I do a man marking job. Well, actually, you have to man mark me, don't you? 'Cause I'm the form guy.
You're the farm horse, yeah. Literally. Texans go to the Bills. 2 teams chasing the wild card. Texans in very good form. Bills have lost a few, but as I said earlier, to decent enough teams, and I think when they're fully healthy, they're a force to be reckoned with, especially at home. They're -3 at home. I'm taking the Bills to stop the Texans winning streak.
I'll take the Bills as well.
Okay.
Played like they didn't care. A couple of years ago, I actually did a breakdown where on tape, I pointed out guys, name, and illustrated guys being soft, guys that would go on to the NFL. And this is something that I think Kirby Smart can do. At Alabama, nobody's soft. At Alabama, nobody takes plays off, much less games off. And that alone, I think, will elevate Georgia.
Why wouldn't you want to poach a guy off the staff, off the best team in that particular conference? Let's start there. The only question I would have is, he's a first-time head coach. You're replacing a guy like Mark Richt. That'd be one question. But he's a Georgia guy, so he knows that area, he knows that school. And at the end of the day, they're going to be able to pay him less, which means they can add better assistants to his staff.
Yeah. George, let's talk about another job that's open. That's Miami. And we're hearing some pretty big names connected with the process there. Where are they in the process? Do you get any sense where they're going with it?
Sorry about that. Gremlins in the system, I think.
ESPN Sports Center.
Okay, we were going on to. I think we had this fixture a few weeks ago. Jags at the Titans. It's I've taken the same line as I think I was wrong the last time. I'm taking the same line this time. Just take the team with the points, and it's the Jags +2.5 away from home.
All right, I will go. I know the Titans. They haven't actually. Hang on a second. No, they've lost. They've
They're
lost
fucking
5 or
terrible.
6
They are
games on the
absolutely
trot
terrible.
at home, haven't they? They haven't won anything. And actually, the Jags are sneaky good. Well,
No, they're not. They
good,
lost at home to San Diego this week. So they're
sneaky goody bad.
They're terrible as well.
But they're better. They're actually better than what you think they are. So yeah, Jags.
Well, I think they're absolutely awful. So it wouldn't be hard to be better than I think they am.
Julius Thomas had a good old thingy there, didn't he?
So what are you taking?
I'm gonna go with Jags.
Okay. Next, the New York Bowl. Jets and the Giants.
New York.
Giants after
the thing that you made up, New York. Boom.
It's a no from me. And anyone who likes music. Yeah, Jets and Giants. Giants need to win. Well, they don't really need to win. They're in the NFC least. They're joint top on 5 and 6, I think.
With the Skins.
With the Skins, yeah. And the Eagles 1 game back at 4 and 7, and the Cowboys 1 further game back at 3 and 8.
Yeah.
So,
but Jerry still thinks that they'll make a run of it.
no, I think even he has given up on that now, as he should do with Matt Castle back.
No, Matt Cassell is one of the best quarterbacks ever, according to Jerry. Carrying on from our theme of last week, what does Jerry say?
We should have had Jerry's tweet of the week.
Okay, so what?
Giants are +2. I'm taking the Giants.
And are the Giants at home? Is the stadium going to be dressed in blue or green?
I think the Giants are the official home team.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're taking the Giants.
Yep.
And what's the +2, is it?
Giants +2, yeah.
Why are the Giants +2?
Because the Jets had an unbelievable win at home to Miami
Unbelievable.
last week, and the Giants lost to the Skins. So,
So you're taking the Jets? No, you're taking the Giants.
yes.
I'll take the Jets. So Jets -2.
Yep.
To cover and to win.
Okay. Game of the week: Seahawks go to Minnesota. In it's a huge game for both teams. Really, the Vikings are trying to win the division for the first time in a long time, and Seahawks need to, confirm their wild card status as well as keeping the pressure.
Keep the
Pressure
show
on
the
the
road.
Cards. Now, the Vikings are favourites, are 1-point favourites, which I don't really get. So I'm taking the Seahawks +1, and maybe I might get my nap of the week up for the first time. This is my nap of the week.
Okay. Well, I think.
And I know you're taking the Seahawks too. So
well, we were discussing this earlier on about Adrian Peterson. The whole Vikings game is based upon Adrian Peterson. Again, as I said earlier on, I was listening to some Sirius FM football, and one guy rang in, and he was giving out about Teddy Bridgewater. But that's just not their game at the moment. Their game is to feed the beast, feed Adrian Peterson. Obviously, their only guy producing anything on in the wide receiving core is Stefan Diggs, who's a rookie. Everybody else is MIA. Wallace and whatever. Kyle Rudolph gives him a few options here and there, but he seems to be more of a blocking, creating lanes, running lanes for Adrian Peterson. So, Vikings. Take it home, Rawls. Take it home, Kears. Take it home, Doug Baldwin.
okay, 49ers go to the Bears. Bears at home are -7. Bears after winning at Lambeau last Thanksgiving in a shock win. But I am taking the 49ers +7.
Wow.
Because the Bears are a real Jekyll and Hyde outfit.
Hang on a second. No, they're after putting a nice few fixtures together there.
I'm just trying to think now who they lost to the week before they beat Green Bay with a pretty pathetic performance. No, it's not coming to me. They only got 6 points at home, I remember, because I backed them. And they were absolutely atrocious, so I'm hoping for another...
It wasn't the Lions, was it, at the time, no?
No, I can't remember now. If you want to talk there, I can look at the thing.
No, I'll leave it off. I'll take the Bears.
Okay.
The Bears.
Yeah, I think the Bears is the obvious choice, but I'm just banking on the fact that they're very inconsistent. Now, Denver go to San Diego. San Diego broke their 6-game losing streak by going to Jacksonville and winning, which isn't the hardest thing in the world to do. But Philip Rivers had another monster, or not another monster, but a monster fantasy week. And obviously Denver broke the Patriots winning streak. So the spread is, you get San Diego +4 at home. And at home, they don't seem to have the support of the crowd because everybody knows that they're going to be moving.
I think they are moving. Yeah.
And home field advantage isn't the same with them as it is with other teams. So I'm taking Denver -4.
Yeah, put me down for the same.
Okay. Big game. KC go to Oakland. Oakland need to win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and KC need also, likewise, need to keep their winning form going.
The spread here is going to be interesting.
What do you think it would be, out of interest?
I would say
Oakland at home.
The spread is Oakland +2.5.
You're half a point off. 3. Oakland +3. But I'm taking KC because I want Oakland to lose.
All right, leaves me in a bit of a dilemma here. Do I just keep marking you here now in reverse?
But you're a Raiders man, so you got to take.
I'm a Raiders man, yeah, but
you got to take the Raiders +3 at home, surely.
Okay, talked into it, railroaded into it.
The only undefeated team left, the Carolina Panthers, go to the Saints, who after their bye week, I personally was hoping that they might have sorted their shit out, but they haven't.
Bad to worse, just getting worse.
They got blown out last week, and I reckon the same could happen this week. Spread is only 7, Carolina -7 all day.
It's a no-brainer here.
Okay.
Actually, can't believe that's all the spread is.
Yeah,
Drew Brees just snapped a 45 game, 45
past
game
TD streak, was it?
touchdown run. Yeah. So
they're just in the mire. They really are. Peyton could be on the way
they're
out.
actually in the mire, deep in the Reich Glanmire. That bad.
The worst kind of mire.
The worst kind of mire.
Okay, so we're both taking the Panthers there. It's an easy one. The Eagles go to the Pats Sunday evening. Spread is Pats -10. I've picked against the Pats, my team, the last few weeks, and it's kind of bore fruit more than it hasn't.
And this isn't going to be one of those occasions.
And it is going to be one of those occasions, Michael. I'm taking the Eagles +10 because we are struggling offensively. The Gronk's out for this game.
Well, that's right.
It's yet to be confirmed, but he's more than likely going to be out. So you got to rely on the likes of Scott Chandler, James White, LeGarrette Blount, Bolden. I mean, it's pretty.
There's one name that you haven't mentioned though.
Who would that be?
Mr. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Pats are going to lose the game because the Eagles are a shit show. But I think that +10 is a lot against a team that.
Well, you can see, are the Eagles? They just seem to be in complete free fall. They're like, I'd like to see a game with the Eagles against New Orleans now, because that'd be some shit show.
The over/under would probably be about 100. 55-50.
So you are.
I'm taking the Eagles +10. I think the Patriots will win by about 7. In relatively low scoring affair.
I suppose at this stage of the season, no, Belichick just wants to get the win, keep the injuries down to a minimum. They can't really afford any more injuries, and just make sure Brady doesn't get. I mean, if Brady came a cropper at this stage, no, whole season could be really in shite. That would never happen with it.
Let's hope not.
I think was there talk of the Eagles having a players meeting and trying to, just try and clear the air. There's huge controversy or question marks over whether Chip Kelly was even going to be around next year. And I said he could very well walk. Now the USC, University of Southern California, have made their interim coach their full-time coach. So that's one job, would be the prime college jobs which Kelly could be interested in, is gone. I know Georgia Tech have just fired their manager, coach, and there probably will be, there's a couple of more.
What are you, Chip Kelly's agent?
Well, I'm just trying to setting the scene for Chip Kelly, like, you know, there's I think I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay. 2 games left. The Colts go to Pittsburgh. Again, we have no spread here because Big Ben is in concussion protocol. And we're not 100% sure. Pretty sure that Andrew Luck's not going to be available this weekend. But it hasn't been confirmed nor denied up to now. So, with that knowledge, it's got to be Pittsburgh at home for me.
Yeah, I'll take Pittsburgh as well. You know, Big Ben was saying afterwards he pulled himself out due to concussion, but then he didn't actually know what the proper technical term for concussion or something was. That he said, no, I'm just having migraines. They're going, yeah, well, that's because you're concussed.
Well, he took a fucking huge hit.
Yeah,
It was,
the second hit was the one, like, yeah.
As soon as the sideline saw a replay of that hit, there's no way he should have been left on on the field. It was.
Well, you know, I was talking about this last week about the NFL, the whole concussion thing, and it's reared its ugly head again. You know, how come like these so-called spotters didn't spot that? The man sitting watching TV can spot it. Like the guy that's actually getting paid in the middle of the stadium can't see it. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but I reckon if he goes, I think he'll be alright. He'll be alright for this weekend. There's been he hasn't been definitely ruled out. So yeah, they should beat the Colts, the Hasselback-led Colts. Well, Hasselback is 4-0, and aren't you referring to earlier whether Luck would even get back in when he comes?
Yeah, well, this is just complete. You know, let's make up a story. You know, let's just try and get some of the news going.
Hasselback,
you know, they're asking, saying
anybody.
if
he beat four shitty teams.
It's not like Peyton. It's a completely different scenario to Peyton. Brock Osweiler is going to be the man in charge.
Peyton won't be playing against the
year.
Broncos. I don't think.
But like, yeah, they're not hanging their future around 40-year-old Matt Hasselbank, who in fairness has done a very good job. But at the same time, he's scraped through a couple of times there. Like their win against the Falcons wasn't the prettiest, and
Shocking.
he's just about, you know, he hasn't set the world alight either, you know.
Yeah. Okay, we go on to the last game, the standard prime time NFC least.
We didn't actually. Who did we pick there?
We both picked Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh against Colts. Yeah.
The standard NFC least, worst division in the NFL primetime game. Jerry World go to the Skins. Skins off a good win at home against the Giants, parking the bus a bit in the second half after going up to a big lead. Cowboys, Romo-less, have no chance. Skins minus 4.5, yes please.
And the Skins are at home.
Yep.
Yeah, they're 5-1, I think, at home.
Yeah, their home form is
so
superb.
Basically, that's. Have they won any game away? They haven't, have they?
No, not sure. No.
I think they're 5-6 as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Won't we say that they're 5-6? The Giants are 5-6 in the standings.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're gonna add. I would say, you know,
Well,
you like that? You like that?
To be fair to Cassell, he hasn't been blown out yet. He keeps it close, but he will ultimately be beaten here, I think.
Yeah, well, it's Skins at home.
Okay. All right, that's all the games for week 13. So we'll move on to fantasy-related stuff now.
Fantasy Island. Fantasy.
So last week, last week's matchups.
Oh, wrong game.
Let's just get the old page up here. Most of the kind of placings in our league have been decided after last week's games.
Well, I get the playoffs.
Throw that up there, but I'll just go
Up.
quickly through last week's results. I beat the Fox 107 to 88. Pint Lodgers beat Brady is a cheat 88 to 65. That was close for a bit of the way at the start, and then all Decky's players played early, and then Patrick just rode the rest of his players to the win. Duffers had only a second win of the campaign, a very good
Duffers
103 to Bucking Pat's 61. Game of the week saw Lucky Jimmy beat Nasib 109 to 103. That was the closest game of the week, I think. Champagne Fever and Polly had a ding-dong battle of the 7 and 4s. Champagne Dino coming out on top 112 to 101. And finally, Mike here had a good game too against Choppers, beating 112 to 94, which sets it up nicely for the last game of the
Choppers.
regular season.
Just gone to my game there against Choppers. Like, he had a huge margin after the Thursday night game. He had 45 points, and I had 5 from Mart Forte, 45 from 3 players. But most of my players then were playing at the 6 o'clock time, and as I said to you there on the phone the other day, 10 of my 11 players won, and they all seemed to either get like early, like there was no 20, 30. I don't think I've had, well, apart now from Philip Rivers had 29 points. I don't think I've had a wide receiver or any or a running back getting over, definitely had over 30 points this year anyway. I know that's rare enough, but just teens. You know, if you can get 9 players in your teens, you're doing all right. You're getting your 100 odd points. Then, like, that's all you need, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
In general.
Gonna bring up the league table there.
Can do love.
Do a quick look at standings after week 12. I, Pat's fallen body, sit atop with a 10-2 record, and Patrick Pint Lodgers in second, 9-3. Those top two won't change as far as I can see. We can change our own spots, but I think we're going to finish 1 and 2 no matter what happens this weekend. So we'll get.
You're a game ahead of Decky.
No matter what. We'll get buys in the playoff.
Actually,
because Pint Lodgers has a tiebreaker over Decky. I'm not sure about Champagne Fever, but either way, I'm guaranteed a top 2 and a buy. And then we have Champagne Fever. Brady's a cheat, guaranteed playoff spots. What playoff spot they'll end up in depends on how they get on this weekend. Polly, I think, is also guaranteed a playoff spot at 7 and 5.
Yeah.
And then we have the most important matchup of the weekend. The 2 6 and 6 teams, winners go to the playoffs, losers go to the losers playoff.
Yeah, I couldn't actually believe that I managed to sneak into the playoff spots. I thought Bucky had the tiebreak over me, so obviously he mustn't have. So it's good that at least one game comes down to the last game of the year. Winner takes all, and I didn't actually have a look at the game center. We haven't used one of those projection-y things. Actually, I like the look at it. Right, I think I'm favourite to win by 2 points, but
just click on week 13 there now, and you'll see it.
Oh, actually, could have went in there. Yeah, bugger. Yeah, is there anything up for it yet?
Oh, there is. I can bring it up here now.
Obviously, Bucky is in the market for a tight end.
What do we got? Right.
Oh, he's after getting rid of Kyle Rudolph. I can't remember who did he get in.
He dropped him.
Yeah. Who did he get in? I know Dino was looking for. He got Martellus Bennett.
He's projecting 109. You're projecting 106.
Oh.
So as it's such an important game, we'll go through each position, and I'll try and pick a winner because you might be a bit one-sided. So we have Philip Rivers against Brady. Brady's at home to the Eagles, with with a banged up offense, and Rivers at home to the Broncos, the best defense in the league. I reckon both of these quarterbacks will not break 20 points.
Yeah, well, I suppose Antonio Gates had a big game last week. He was the main difference
Against the Jags. That's
Yeah.
You can just run through them. Their D is non-existent. Yeah, I reckon I could give Brady the edge slightly because he has the easier game. I mean, San Diego got 3 points at home to KC 2 weeks ago, who are a good defense, but the Broncos are the best defense. So I don't know how much success Rivers is going to have there. Might have a bit of confidence off the back of the win last week, but we'll see now. At RB1, Woodhead against Ingram. I have to give this one to Ingram, although they both are playing good teams. Carolina and Ingram against Carolina, Woodhead against Denver. Again, I don't think either of these are going to score.
If Neylands go down early, they're gonna start putting the ball through the air instead of just trying to, they should really try and ground and pound.
But I think the Saints at home will score points. They'll concede shitloads, but they'll score some points. They usually do at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Ingram this one just about. And I got Frank Gore against Jeremy Hill. Hill has been decent enough of late.
He's had a little mini revival.
Yeah, and Frank Gore has gone the opposite way.
Frank Gore has been absolutely appalling the last few
So
weeks.
I'll give that one to Hill. Julio Jones against Deshaun Jackson. Julio Jones has gone downhill a bit, but he's still the second highest. He still has the second highest receiving yards in the league, so that has to be respected. They go to the Bucks, even though his team have lost 5 on the spin. He still seems to be getting plenty of action. Deshaun Jackson, back from injury, has been very good as well. So
the last 2 games, he's ended up in the end zone, usually from a deep ball from Kirk Cousins. So.
And they're at home to the Cowboys.
They're home to
so
Cowboys.
They should score plenty of points.
Look, if he can get if I got 100 yards.
If I got 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'd be happy. That's it, is it?
The old 22-pointer there, that's all I want.
Yeah. So I can't really call that. I'll give that a 50-50 shout. Allen Robinson against Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper has bit like Todd Gurley, has kind of died off the last 3 or 4 weeks, hasn't he? He hasn't got a lot of.
He didn't get a touchdown last week, but I think he did. He still managed to get 80 or 90 yards.
Yeah, I mean, you really be looking to. You want to get at least 12 to 13 points out of him a week, and he hasn't been getting it the last few weeks.
Yeah, but he hasn't been far off it either. So fingers crossed.
And Allen Robinson has been doing pretty good for the Jags. Even though they haven't been winning games.
Their matchups probably favours Robinson this weekend against the Jags.
Yeah.
Against Tennessee, sorry.
Now here, Ibaki doesn't have any tight end, but he did drop Kyle Rudolph, which is a bit weird. He's obviously planning on picking up a tight end at some point in time against Tyler Eifert. Tyler Eifert, best tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, well, Tyler Eifert did pick up a late injury last week. He's got 12 touchdowns so far, I think, this year, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. He's the top touchdown scorer in the league.
And you would expect him to feature against the Browns. I mean, you could see him having did he have 2 or 3 touchdowns against the Browns the last time? Or he definitely got in against them, I think, anyway. You could definitely see him having 2 touchdowns and 50, 60 yards there.
If he's fully fit.
Yeah. Or even if he's not fully fit.
You got to give, whoever Baki picks as his tight end, Eifert gets the nod there, assuming he plays. And then in the flex, C.J. Anderson, who had a stormer against the Pats, against Matt Forte, who's not doing so good, just back from injury.
You gotta fancy both the matchups there, really. But Matt Forte is another week. He's another week into his recovery. Obviously, Langford is taking a few snaps off him as well. But against the Niners, who are porous as fuck.
They don't have the worst. They don't have the worst D in the world. San Diego, on the other hand, have an absolutely shocking defense. And with Osweiler, it's going to be a run-heavy game. I'd say Anderson could be in for a massive game. So I'd say Forte will get a good score, but Anderson will slightly shade him. Kickers, who knows what's going to happen. Josh Brown against Seabass. Defense, Patriots against the Broncos. Gotta fancy the Broncos D. They're the best D in the league. And then Keighley, who put up a monster score on Thanksgiving defensively with a couple of picks, one returned for a touchdown. Got 16.5 points or something like that against your boy Smith for the Raiders.
Malcolm Smith.
How's he
Malcolm, he
getting
had
on
7.5 points last week, which was pretty good. You take
pretty
that
average, like.
You take that from an IDP, or it could have been 9.5 points. I think it was 7.5. You take
And
that from an IDP. Like the San Diego Denver game. There's a lot of that's going to be the crucial game here in the matchup.
It would look that way, yeah. You seem to have a lot of interest in that game. Bench-wise, Bucky is Melvin Gordon.
San Diego.
David Johnson, who he picked up, who I think he will be starting.
So who would
not to take sides, but he should start him.
He's probably gonna. I would say he's probably gonna put
Frank Gore on the bench.
Frank Gore on the bench.
Yeah, David Johnson should play.
Put David Johnson either into the flex or.
Yeah. He's got Charkander West on the bench too. I don't know what
still injured, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what his situation. But if he's fit, again, he has to play. Stephon Diggs on his bench is very strong. Stephon Diggs, Jordan Matthews, Heath Miller, strong bench. And you've got Luck, Ryan Matthews, Carlos Williams, Amendola, Parker, not as strong. But going on the starting lineups, to give this one to you, just about, Mike.
It's
but
going to be.
Unfortunately, it's not on my decision.
Yeah,
it's on the day.
It's going to be close, to be honest with you, like last week, I was getting despondent. I'd lost 2 on the trot, and if I'd lost last week, I would have lost 3 on the bounce, which I've never done over the 2 years. I've never lost 3 on the bounce. I've always just seemed to be win one, lose one.
You're Stoke City.
Stoke, yeah.
You're mid-table,
mid-table.
Rarely lose.
Mid-table mediocrity.
All right, that's pretty much it for this week. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's about it. I suppose, really, is it? Are we?
Yeah, that's all the fantasy stuff.
All right, lads. We'll just say bid ye adieu, okay? And I'm sorry for the earlier musical abomination. But hold on a second. I wonder what's after doing here. So, sure. Look, yeah, we won't play.
Might as well finish with it too. We don't have the autumn wind teed up.
We'll finish it. Yeah, I had the other one. There. Queen didn't like. Here we go. Literally, the country girl.
Talk to me. Let's go. A shot of vodka. I can't. Tequila. I can't. At the bar.